This conference will now be recorded.
Great. So hi everyone. Welcome to this session on case analysis. As you might be aware that some of the B schools, they have a case study and the case analysis as the part of their process. So the objective of this session is to give you certain guidelines that how to go about case analysis, what structure should you be writing, and how you should be analyzing the overall given case to you. Post this, tomorrow we will also be uploading 2 or 3 case analysis tests in your account, which you can attempt, and we will review them for you. Now, coming to the case studies, which are given to you in, say, your B school process, these case studies could primarily fall into certain buckets. One bucket is the typical business bucket. There is a very less chance that a business case study will be given to you. Typically, these schools don't give you business case study at the time of selection process, but some of them might give. So business case study is one. Second case study is usually given on the lines of a personal situation, uh, involving couple of other people in the situation, and they will give you a case study around that, more around the personal situation. And the third set of cases which could be given to you, especially if say you are appearing for a specialized HRM course, is a HR based case study. And a fourth set of case study which could be given is an ethics based situation, where you have to deal with the ethical dilemma kind of a situation, and you have to come up with a solution. So broadly, these are the 4 different types of cases which could come to you. We will give you one each case study in your course accounts to analyze it. You don't need more practice than that. It's very normal thing. It's very common sense oriented thing. It's a very objective approach which is required. So you can continue to focus on the interview preparation more, because typically interviews will be make or break, while on the case analysis, uh, practicing 4 cases of one each of different situation with the right approach will give you a fair understanding, and you'll be able to do well in the exam. Now let's talk about these 4 different situations. Irrespective of the situation, or say irrespective of the bucket in which the case study falls, one thing which is common is every case situation given to you will have a set of stakeholders. Am I correct? So suppose say if it's a business case study, whether it's a personal situation, or whether it's a HR based case, or whether it's a ethics based situation, there will always be stakeholders in any case. Case is nothing but a situation. Whenever we are in any situation, there are always stakeholders. By stakeholders, I mean people to whom the outcome matters. So for example, when say you are having a conversation with me around your preparation, you and I are the stakeholders. So typically by stakeholder, I mean any person involved in a given situation who will be impacted by the outcome of a particular situation. All those people are called stakeholders. Every case study which is given to you will have certain stakeholders. Now the objective of me solving a case is to maximize the value which I am generating through my solution for all or as many stakeholders as possible. Why I am saying this? Not every time it might be possible for me to create value through my solution for all the stakeholders, but my attempt should be that whatever solution I am proposing in my case analysis, I am able to maximize the value for all or as many stakeholders as possible. That is the end objective of the solution which I am providing. Now remember, there is no right or wrong answer for a case study. Karan may provide value to stakeholders in X way, Miliva can provide it in Y ways, Rihan can provide it in a Z way, and all the ways could be correct. There is no right or wrong answer for a case study. Case study, even when you will study case studies in your B school curriculum, there is no right or wrong answer. It is always a better approach. A better approach is we talk about, and your solution at this stage when you are having this as a part of your B school admission process is to understand and try to derive value for as many stakeholders. Whether it's a better approach or any other better approach is possible, that is something which you are going to ultimately learn in your B school curriculum as well. That is where the case study oriented approach, which most of the top B schools have today, that helps you. But as of now, you should be focusing on different stakeholders. So if I have to add value for different stakeholders, what becomes my first step? My first step when I'm reading a case study becomes to identify different stakeholders. Unless I identify all of them, how will I be able to add value to all of them? So my first step in a case study, irrespective of the bucket in which it falls, is identify different stakeholders. Point number one. Point number two, once I have identified the stakeholders, analyze the situation or the scenario in which different stakeholder is. Every case study which is given to you, which throws a situation at you, will provide you certain constraints within which you need to arrive at a solution. So once I have identified the stakeholders, once I know the current situation in which the stakeholders are, now I need to put that constraint on every stakeholder and see that within that constraint, how can I add value to a particular stakeholder? Through what possible solution? And keeping the given constraint in mind, can I add value to all stakeholders? You might think of 2 or 3 solutions or 4 solutions. Try to think up to 3 solutions, because more than 3 will unnecessarily waste your time and you have limited time to attempt a. So first of all, try to identify 2 or 3 solutions. Once you have identified the solutions, try to see that how every identified solution is impacting different stakeholders. Suppose there are 4 stakeholders. First solution might be adding positive value to 2, negative to 1, neutral to 1. Second solution might be, say, adding positive to 1, neutral to 2, negative to 1. Third solution could be, say, adding positive value to 3 and a negative value to 1. You have to balance them out. You have to compare them and then go and vouch for one of the solutions in your mind as the final solution which you are offering as the outcome of the given case study. So that has to be your broad level approach, irrespective of the case study bucket, irrespective of the situation given. Whether it's a business scenario, if it's a business scenario, your value might be more in the terms of profit, loss, revenue, cost saving. That could be your major objective if you are solving a business related case study. If you are solving a ethics related case study, to ensure that ethics are complied, to ensure that ethics are not compromised, that will be your highest priority. If say it's a HR based thing, then you have to ensure that empathy to different human resources is maintained, their emotional and intellectual and professional wellness is being taken care of. That becomes your priority. If it is a personal situation, you have to see that we are able to help the people, help the different stakeholders achieve what they want to achieve without doing anything unethical or selfish for any one particular stakeholder. That is how you will broadly look at those 4 different buckets. So the end objective might change, depending upon the bucket in which my case study falls, but my overall approach will remain the same. Is it clear? Do you have any doubts? Anyone who has any questions so far? So, as I said, first, read and examine the case thoroughly. If you want to take some notes or note down some highlight points of the case study, if it's a long one, then you should do that. If it's just say a one paragraph case study, you don't need to note down or take the notes, but read and examine it carefully. When I say examine it carefully, I mean identify different stakeholders, identify the impact of the situation on different stakeholders. Then you have to focus your analysis. As I said, there will be certain constraints, certain limitations, certain expected outcomes being talked about in the case study. You once you know those things, try to find out a solution. Try to find out the role of different stakeholders in that solution. Try to see that how you could uh, through that solution how you could add value to different stakeholders to the best possible. Think of possible solutions. As I said, you have to think of up to 3 solutions. Once you have the solutions, compare those solutions to arrive at the best solution, and whatever is the best solution is your answer to the case study. That's how you approach it. Now, how do you write it when you are writing your answer? So what I have told so far is how do you arrive at the best solution, what is the best solution, everything is on your mind. Now, how do you write the solution? That's second thing. First of all, take 2 or 3 or 4 sentences to explain the given situation, to explain the problems, to explain the constraints given in the situation. Take 1 to 4 sentences, ideally 3 to 4 sentences is fine. Then once you have explained the situation, try to bring up all the stakeholders, try to talk about the impact of the constraints given on the stakeholders and the expected outcome on the different stakeholders. That becomes your second paragraph of your solution. Then third paragraph becomes where you talk about the solution. How have you arrived at it? How is the solution adding value to all the stakeholders? That becomes your third paragraph. First two which I talked about, you can club them into one, or if you are writing everything into separate paragraph, then evaluation, that is the final solution, the best solution, becomes your third paragraph. And finally, you can conclude that how the solution which you have suggested can be implemented. So case study is not only about proposing a solution, but it is also talking about the implementation of the solution. So the fourth paragraph could be about the implementation of the solution, and the last paragraph could be a concluding paragraph where you are talking about how your solution is going to change the lives of all the stakeholders, or depending upon the situation, if any recommendations have to be given, you can do that. So ideally, up to 5 paragraphs of where say you're only the paragraph where you are talking about the best solution and the implementation of it, they need to be around 8 to 10 sentences. Rest every paragraph could be 4 to 6 sentences, or you can just write the overall solution in 3 paragraphs, where the first paragraph is talking about the introduction and the stakeholders, the second paragraph is talking about the best solution and the implementation. Third paragraph is talking about the conclusion and the recommendations. It is up to you how you want to write the solution. There is no right or wrong way. These are the two possible most recommended ways to write a solution to a given case study. You can go for any of them. It's up to you. If you ask me personally, I typically would prefer to write it in 3 paragraphs, because the case which will be given to you will be a short one. It will not be a very lengthy case. So for you, 3 paragraphs will suffice. But in case anyone wants to break down everything into 1 paragraph each, you can do that as well. So that is how you approach your overall case study situation in the entrance process. That's how you think about, that's how you think through it, that's how you will go about writing it. Any questions, anyone, any doubts, anyone, please feel free to ask. You can type in your doubts in the chat window and you can ask if you have any doubts. Karan, do you understand it? Miliva, Rihant, Chandar? Any doubts? Vatsal, any doubts? Siddharth, any doubts? Anushka, any doubts? Okay. Okay. So now, do you think that you at least know the structure and how to approach it? I'll share with you the case studies as I said tomorrow. You can start attempting them tomorrow, and then uh, in case anyone of you will face any problem in attempting them, we can have a discussion, and even we can even discuss say a couple of ideal solutions for those case studies on the WhatsApp group for the benefit of all. We can do that as well. Great. So I guess we are good for now. We'll end this session here. It was just a quick short session to help you understand how to approach it, how to write it. And then I guess once from tomorrow you will start taking the tests. You will be in a better position to probably ask any doubts if you will find any. Okay. Uh, would this step be in like a WAT environment? Uh, Anushka, so some colleges have case studies, some colleges have WAT. Typically, they will not give you a case study as part of WAT. Anushka, yes, everyone will be getting the same question in the same slot. Okay, perfect. So we'll end it here. We'll again catch up tomorrow once you start taking the tests. And any doubts you will have while you are attempting the tests, feel free to ask them. Thank you everyone for joining tonight, and have a good night. Thank you.